I'd like to call the town board workshop meeting for February 18th to order with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Fire notices, if you go out here to the left, there's an exit. If you go out the way you came in to the right, there's an exit. I make a motion to approve the previous workshop meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Order of general highway town bills. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the highway town bills.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. No nays. Committee reports. Councilman Moore.
The highway department's up and running, and I think they're doing very well. They did an outstanding job with all these little snowstorms, and for some reason he saved a lot of salt. Didn't use too much salt last time.
Good.
And everything is good.
Is
Right
there
now,
still salt shortage, Al?
Huh?
Is there still a shortage on salt?
No. Oh, yeah, there is a shortage on salt, but we won't need any.
Yeah.
But there is a shortage, I heard there. But no, we're in good shape.
Councilman Hurley?
Unless we get a disaster,
Nothing really on the Zena Development project. Ulster Planning Board is really making a push to get a negative declaration before the end of March. So they're really pushing the Zena Development to have all its T's crossed and I's dotted. So we'll stay on top of that to see where it goes.
Councilman Nelson?
Pretty much been out of commission for about a month and a half, so I apologize for that with my surgery and everything. Still need to work on the comprehensive plan. I hope to have that done sooner than later. I just had, foot surgery, then a little problem with my heart, so getting better now. I feel pretty good. Did get an email from something called the Liberty Tree Society. I'd like to do a little research about that for maybe the July 4th celebration for the America's 250. They sent us some information. I want to see what that costs and what that in details, and we'll look into that in the next couple of weeks. I believe a lot of us got that email in our emails, so I'm just going to follow up with them, see if that's anything for us, or if we have any interest in doing something like that. I know Councilman Wells talked about an Earth Day celebration, but maybe we can roll something on in one if we get it. One celebration might be a good idea. So.
Linda, can you please do roll call because I skipped over it?
Yep. Councilman Hurley?
Here.
Councilman Moore?
here.
Councilman Nelson?
Present.
Councilman Wells is excused. Supervisor Hoffman?
Here. Old business?
I have one thing for old business. I know I've asked this several times and I haven't heard the answer. That shed that's not placed properly, have we heard any updates on that?
So I had Debbie send them an application for the zoning board of appeals. I was here today, I did not receive it. I came back tonight and it was on my desk, so I will work on that. I got the application, the payment, the building permit application, and a check for that also. So I will set that up for the zoning board of appeals.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
New business?
I'm not familiar, but is this a chance to ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the town of Ulster meeting regarding the Zena situation, and I agree, they're really trying to get the I's dotted and the T's crossed. But their big thing right now, or what seemed to be a big thing, was the engineering for their septics. And I didn't have a chance, or I couldn't find it rather. Like, they're trying to figure out if they can do mound septics. And I understand that it's like really shallow dirt where they're building the homes, and it's going straight to granite. So there's not a lot to to create the 60 fluid ounces per minute required for the septics to work. So they have to either do a mound, still might not work, or they have to do something called a mountain septic, still might not work. And they're trying, I really felt like they were trying to just get someone to sign off, and the town of Ulster was saying, no, you gotta either go to Ulster County or go to the DEC or the DEP. Someone of official notice had to, sign off. But when I recall seeing the topography of that map, I live on Hallahan's Hill, and between Hallahan's Hill and Ruby Road is like this ravine, and it's gorgeous in the springtime, it's even prettier when it's frozen in the winter. If they don't do that right, is there a chance that we're gonna have septic from 30 units roll down granite?
So that's
come into
why,
our ravine, and I'm sorry, the last part, possibly filter into our water system?
so that's why Councilman Hurley's been going to all the meetings, and do you have that, paperwork that you sent me?
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what the topography is. Is that something that might settle in our area, be an issue for us to deal with later? And
I'm worried about that whole project with the town because of the runoff and all that, so it could possibly be a issue. But I'm sure when the health department does their thing, they would have to bring it back to the town of Ulster to know what they're gonna do to prevent that. But I'm worried about that whole project hurting the town of Kingston.
Right, well, I don't wanna seem like a troublemaker, but should the town of Ruby and the town of Kingston do like an official cease and desist until you figure out what you're gonna do with your, do we have to go as far as actually submitting some paperwork to the Ulster County Court and saying, hey, we want to make sure that this
So-
meets its requirements?
And John Paul can correct me on this, we would have to wait for the nights they do their,
We would have to wait for a decision before we could take action.
no, before, when they do their, nights for people that come in and voice their opinions about the product, the hearing, the
Public hearing.
public hearing, then we can say something, or we could send a letter, and then if that don't work, I imagine we can sue them and hold them up, but it's gonna cost a lot of money, it's not gonna be cheap.
Okay.
If you may, one thing I can do is I can reach out to the Zena Development people and ask that question. Okay, what's gonna happen with this runoff and the granite? I do have a report here from Hanson Van Fleet, which did a hydrological evaluation, and they didn't mention anything up there. All they did was talk about Sweet Meadows and the flooding possibility of those 31 homes, all the rainwater flowing down into the tributaries into the Sauk Hill Creek. So,
Right.
so they didn't mention anything yet, but I will reach out to my contacts and ask that question and see
I
if
think,
anything's done.
I think if the topography is such that they have whatever they deem as proper, and the topography is such that any runoff would go into the watershed straight into the creek, I'm comfortable with that. Or rather, I should say I'm more comfortable with that than if the topography shows that the runoff would go into the ravine between Ruby Road and Hallahan's and just sit there. Because then that's an opportunity for biological waste and bacteria to sit, build up, and eventually ruin our aquifer.
Okay, if you
That's
wouldn't
where my
mind, if you
thinking
could stay after a little bit, I could get some more information
Sure.
from your thoughts and
Sure.
make sure I have the right questions,
Okay.
and we can discuss that, okay?
Happy to.
Appreciate that, thank you.
That was a good question, because to tell you the truth, I never even thought about that, I was more worried about flooding and
Everything has to be considered, and I'm not against, they say, hey, there's a housing crisis, right? But they didn't say, hey, there's an affordable housing crisis, right?
Right.
And
$1 million housing.
everything has to be considered, and if they, I would just like to see that. that, you know, that we're not impacting even down to the smallest invertebrates.
Yeah.
Right, because they feed the birds, that feed something else, that feed something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So I have a few things I'd like to talk about. One of the first things is, those of us on Sweet Meadows know about the house fire. So I would like to make sure that, I think it would be the code enforcer, that he stays on top of the situation of that house.
So,
Monitoring the condition, maybe people going in and out of it,
I was just told there was people 10 minutes ago going out of their house. And I won't let Bob, they're not supposed to be in that house, I believe. He, put a placard on it, and the report I got, I looked at today, it says non-livable. So I believe people are not supposed to be, and I will speak to Bob tomorrow about it.
that things get watched as the months go on and
Yeah.
it sits there, and who knows who's gonna try to live there once the weather's better, and the condition of it, and this is one time he needs to stay on top of something.
Hopefully the insurance company is pretty fast at repairing it or deciding what they're gonna do with it. And it could get figured out pretty fast, but I will speak to Bob about that tomorrow.
Is it a known fact that there's insurance on that house?
She gave insurance information. I can't check it, it's illegal for me to check it, but she gave it to, the officer that was in charge and the fire inspector, investigator, so.
Okay. I attended the last town board meeting and you introduced the new assessor and his secretary. So I have called twice and left messages to please get a hold of me because they gave a deadline of March 1st for some paperwork. If you-
Yeah, for the exception.
Right. I did get a call back today when I was not home, but she never tells me when I can call to reach her.
She was in here today until 12:30.
There's a
I
notice
saw
on the
that,
door.
well, yeah, but I don't come here every day, so I wouldn't see that.
She'll be
yet.
back
She'll
in
be
the
here
office
Friday.
on Friday from 8:30.
This Friday.
8:30 until about 11.
What's the deadline?
March 1st is the deadline for exemptions and that kind of stuff, which is what's done in our office.
For exemptions?
Senior exemptions,
Senior
star
exemption.
exemption, any
Oh, okay.
paperwork that has to be done, yes.
Would you be able to give her a message for me?
She actually mentioned that she'd called you and let me know that, to let you know that she would be in the office from
Yeah.
8:30 to 11 on Friday.
Those hours don't work. She said she was available privately if someone needed to.
Yes, so
So-
she called, that's why she tried to call and connect with you to see if
Right.
there was another time you can come in, because,
Right.
Yeah.
But she doesn't give me any other number to call except for the town number, and she's not there. I
so-
mean, if we're hiring somebody only 1 to 2 hours a month, let's face it, that's gonna be hard.
Well, she's in the office weekly, so
All right.
I'll pass your information
Yeah.
along again and see
She
if
has-
she can reach out to you.
Yeah, mornings don't work.
Kathy, is there a time better that Linda can relay to her that would work for you? So Linda can maybe relay that message to her, that might help to get this.
Yeah, an afternoon.
Is there a specific time frame so I can let her know, so she can at least reach out
Every day
and
is
set
so
a time frame?
She could call me in the evening if she will do such a thing.
Yeah, I
Calendars
can't,
might line up. I don't know, I'm just trying to meet the deadline that you guys said.
well, it's not us, that's a
Well, yeah,
federal,
right,
state.
right, right. And I know it's a short month, unfortunately, but. And just one more thing. About 25 to 28 years ago, there was a small committee that was gonna look into Sweet Meadows being hooked up to the City of Kingston Water because of the pipes that go behind our houses. If any of these other developments are gonna be taking place, and maybe if even not, considering the effect that everything's gonna have on Sweet Meadows, I wonder if there couldn't be a committee looking into such a thing. Again.
So I've been arguing about that for years. I believe it could be done at one time, and hopefully Ed remembers this because it was before me. They said they would hook up houses with water, but it was voted down, right, Alf?
I guess, yeah, that's a long time ago now, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But if people would like me to start checking into it again, I don't have a problem calling the City of Kingston Water Department and, seeing what they say.
Who supposedly voted it down?
I believe it was people in the Meadows, am I correct, Al?
Yeah, they're the ones that wanted, yes, in the beginning.
They wanted it, yeah.
in the
And then it
beginning,
was
right.
voted
I know, it
down
could
by
be just-
one vote.
I don't even know if it got as far as a vote.
I'm just going by what,
Yeah.
when I spoke to Dennis about it,
Okay.
because Jockey Hill and Hill Road's horrible on water. They run out of water all the time, and actually me and John Paul even talked about out doing the, sign about bringing water down Jockey Hill and down Hill Road and through the Meadows. We talked about it out there. But if people want it,
It's a
I'll
big
check
process.
into it.
But I mean, if these other two things are gonna happen, oh boy.
But it might be a large cost to the town. But once again, there's grants out there, I believe that could help us.
There are definitely infrastructure grants out there for that.
That could help us. And then I believe the issue was people didn't wanna pay for the connection from the road to their houses.
Well, when the town of Ulster came through Forest Glen Park with sewage, they asked the people, well, they gave them a choice. You either can connect now for a
Don't,
certain price, or if you decide later, it'll cost a lot more. So there's
See,
that kind of option.
I have city water and I love it.
Oh, yeah, comes from our reservoir up there, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking, you know, we've always known the development is like 70-some years old now. Everybody has a septic, everybody has a well. So we've always known that down the road there'd be a problem because drainage from million years ago from the dump and everything too. And now we have these other issues that could crop up. We're gonna lose our water pressure, we're gonna, you know, this and that. I think it's gonna be a long-term thing. I just think it's something we need to have our eyes open to.
I will work on that. Next month, I will call and see if I can meet with the superintendent and see how he feels about that. And Vinnie, can you look and see if there's any grants out there?
There are actually, when I was looking at the grants for the other things, there are definitely some infrastructure grants for
Please.
water. There are some of that stuff available. I do know a couple years ago, we spoke about that, and no one on the board at that time was really interested in that, but I think it's a great idea. Anyone that lives in the town, and then on the other side of town, we can talk to town Ulster, and maybe we can get water here. I think it'd be a great infrastructure thing for this town to do.
Yeah, once the little committee that we had went defunct, since then, the town of Ulster has hooked up 3 good-sized areas,
Yeah,
To
it's
water.
all plausible, absolutely.
so it's possible, it's just
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of dedicated work.
We had an offer years ago in the town of Ulster to take care of water on that side of town, Hallahan, all the way up, you know, there. And then with the city of Kingston hooking up. But it all came down to, nobody wanted to spend the money on having it done. City of Kingston's gonna tell you, yeah, but you can hook up, but somebody has to pay for it. And it just, like you said, it just went by the wayside, you know, and that's what happened. And, but there's, like Vinnie said, the grants, that's what you're gonna have to get. You know, you're gonna have to get the grants to get it, you know, get it done, because they're gonna have to move some pipes too. It's just not hooking up to the house.
Yeah, we can't expect something for nothing.
No.
We can't,
But, you know,
you know?
because I remember when Quigley even said, you know, how much it was gonna cost, and he would hook it up, and it would be their water district, it wouldn't be ours. We would have nothing to do with it, but still we have water. But it just went by the wayside, even when, what's her name, her name was Judith.
Judy Hanson.
Right.
The head of the water
She
department.
she
yeah.
said you can hook up anytime you want. She says, just let us know, but nobody, you know,
Yeah.
it just went by the wayside.
I got a question about that though. I mean, I understand that water pressure would be better, but is the water quality better than having well water?
I would say
They
so, yeah.
they send me a report every year, and if they send it this year, I will make copy of it, I will get you a copy.
I put a very expensive water softening system in my house. Prior to the well, I had it tested, it was not good. After the system, it was much better, so the well water isn't great.
It isn't great.
Quality, unless you have a good system.
Right, I got a system as well, and once it goes through that system, I put it through another charcoal filter.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, but the thing is, I feel a little bit better about water that's coming out of the ground versus water that's been treated, so it's drinkable.
And it's all in your location. If you're up on Hallahan Hill Road, you're not getting the drainage that was known Sweet Meadows will be getting from the dump.
Exactly. It's,
Not to mention all the oil tanks were in the ground in the meadows years ago.
Right about the oil too, I mean.
yeah, everybody's got a different situation, but, you know,
There's a situation, there
yeah,
really is.
definitely. I just think that we should be transparent about that before we tell someone, hey, you know what, here's this opportunity to hook up, and then it ends up causing issues for some people and solving issues for others.
One of my concerns is a lot of elderly people living in the meadows that can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's gonna be a big bill
And
for
then
them.
it's a monthly charge, right?
So, all those things we have to look into, I think an open investigation to find out, is a great idea. Let's see where it goes, let's let chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
I pay $80 a month for my water bill, because we don't get charged sewer, because we're not on city sewer, so I pay like $81, I believe, a month, and I have 4 people in my house, so.
It's expensive, there's no ifs, ands, or buts compared to a well, but the people who are gonna fight it are the people like, they don't have any water treatment systems because they're playing Russian roulette. And there are plenty of them in the meadows, they're playing Russian roulette, they don't want to know.
I probably spend more than $80 a month on my water treatment.
Yeah,
By the
I
time I'm done
mean,
water treatment and fixing my well, I spend tons of money, because I care about my water.
The filters, the salts, the lights, everything, yeah.
yeah, just the initial input, mine was like 20 years ago, and I think we spent $8,000. It's expensive, but
For water softener?
everything, UV light treatment, water softener, the whole
You gotta buy
gamut.
filters every month, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you gotta buy filters, and every year you gotta buy UV, so, but, you know, it's what we have to do.
And my water's pretty gangster before it goes through everything, so it definitely,
Yeah.
I'd be all about changing things around, because that water down the meadows is not good, and it's treated a lot in my house, so.
My primary filter does not look friendly after one.
Yeah, Paul, how's your water?
I have great water.
Great
yeah,
or gray?
great.
Great, okay, good.
You don't have a filter system in your water?
I have a sediment filter.
Okay.
And then there's a filter on the fridge, but I've had it like thoroughly tested, like $1,000 test to do a full spectrum, and they both time have come up really well.
Good.
I had a 200-foot well drilled for my house. Just the other day, I had a new well drilled for the house I'm building, and it's 500 feet. So, I mean, it's
You're planning ahead.
well, it's a luck. I mean, you don't know what you're gonna hit, especially with bedrock. It doesn't allow water to move the same way as in soil. And my understanding is all of the wells in Sweet Meadows are,
Shallow.
50 feet at most. And I mean, when
Nope,
you're
mine's 25.
13.
25. So I mean, you have the septic systems leaching into the ground. That's ultimately turning into your drinking water. I mean, after 70 years, the water quality is gonna go way down.
Do you know when those houses were built, the oil tank was in the ground here and the wellhead's here? Every house like that had an oil tank in the ground right next to the well.
I mean, just the separation. Modern code from the health department is 100 feet from the well to the septic, the leach field. And I mean, I don't think there's probably many houses in Sweet Meadows that even has that.
Nope. I have a house in the way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop below ground.
my foundation
Well, I
doesn't.
will check on that.
Thank you.
Samantha, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just had a question about the star exemption that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
You can do that later though. Doesn't have to be now.
I mean, I'm curious as well, is that saying that you don't wanna pay for,
The star exemption is actually on your school taxes.
right, for
It
the
is done
school?
through the assessor's office. It's mostly actually done online now. You can do pretty much set it up all online. They've gotten rid of a lot of the paper forms for all the stuff.
And you're basically saying my kids don't go to the school, so I don't wanna pay taxes?
No.
What's it saying? What's the
You get a
point?
better chance of getting a water line.
It's just,
run up
it's a
that road.
relief on the school taxes.
Yeah, it's just
It's a one-time payment.
a financial, that they usually, well, they used to refund you. I'm not even sure if that's how it works
Well, I
anymore.
get a check every year. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
check.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so,
You don't get it.
Every
Get a
year.
check. I used to get a check.
Yeah, it's like $500 a year.
I think they take it off the bill now.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
get a
I-
check anymore, we haven't for years.
I got one in August. I had to put it on my taxes.
I'm gonna make a note of that next time.
Was that the $400 from the state?
I think it's from the state, yeah.
Okay, that was completely different, that was a one-time thing the
Oh,
government
yeah,
did.
that would be.
Oh,
good.
no. Like, I get it every year.
No, right now there is a new star check that I don't know if maybe if you were already enrolled you don't get updated to the check, but it's just a one-time payment before basically the taxes come out.
Okay, yeah, I just see the minus on my school tax
Yeah.
bill.
And it probably has to do with when you actually applied.
Well, I
Or
allow
maybe
them
if
to
you
go in
have
and
senior
see, I
side.
allow them to go in and see my income tax returns, so it's done automatically. Maybe, cause I was like, I don't wanna
Yeah.
apply every year,
It might be the same thing.
so.
You don't have to apply, it just
Right.
comes.
I'm
It's a nice
sure it'll
little
work out
surprise.
to the same
Interesting.
amount
Yeah,
either
yeah.
way. But
Any comments or questions?
So the Office of the Aging has called and asked to do another senior Tai Chi class here. It would be for 8 times 4 weeks, starting March 25th. It'd be Wednesday and Fridays, 12:30 to 1:30, and then on Fridays 12:15 to 1:15.
What's the first day again?
The March 25th, Wednesday. I just wanted to make sure that the board was okay with that before I agreed to that.
What time will they be done on Fridays?
1:15. So I
Okay,
adjusted it
and
because,
that'll work for the.
yes, I spoke to
Make sure
Deb
it's
today
okay
to
with Deb
verify.
for that too, because, I remember a couple of years ago with Tom locking the door.
I verified that with her to make
Okay.
sure she was good with that today before I talked to you guys. So,
I'm good with it.
So what's the age? Is there a limit?
there is no age limit.
You make it, Kenny.
I can do it.
Just out of curiosity, like, how do we publicize these events?
So that'll have a notice posted on Facebook. It's also done through the Office of the Aging. So they have their own paperwork they put out.
It'll be in
Um,
here.
And it's not just people from this area, they have people from Stone Ridge and they notify the group that usually tries to come. So there's usually anywhere from 15 to 25 people that come for it, so.
Is this also published at the senior group meeting?
Usually I will make sure that she
Yeah,
has it to
okay.
put on the notation for the
Excellent, okay.
next meeting for that as well, yes.
And you got all the insurance information?
Yep, she's got it all ready to send to me, I just wanna make sure you guys were good with it before I give her the okay to send me the information. Cause she'll send me the application and the insurance paperwork.
Do we ever submit events to the Freeman? Because they have a big long page every day of like all the events that are going on in the community. I don't know if it costs money or not.
They
though.
usually submit this themselves, they usually post the stuff in the Freeman.
Okay.
Because I've asked the Office of the Aging if they want it, and they said they usually take care of it themselves, so.
And I do try to post all that stuff on our Facebook page. I don't know if you follow the Town of Kingston Facebook page when you're on Facebook, but I try very hard. Anytime that stuff comes across, I do post that stuff as much as I can.
Anybody have any more?
So I just want to say I attended again the Scout dinner, the spaghetti dinner, and if you haven't gone, you should go. They do a great job, and it really is, I think, one of the best community events in the town. With that said, it would have been really great if there was a couple extra parking spaces in the parking lot, because it was more than max capacity. People had to park, find little spots, so if we got spots, we should be using them for town things. I think leaving them open. I know you had mentioned before the reasoning of why those 2 cars are there, but I mean, they're parking spots for a reason. I mean, if someone needs to store a car for whatever, a week, a month, like, you can bring it to my property, whatever. But, you know,
Are you there Friday?
I mean, there's enough junk cars around this town that I'm pretty sure anyone would be welcome to store a car for a good reason. But I think those parking spots should be utilized as parking spots.
The one car is the fire department's car.
Right. But again, parking spots for,
We've been using that parking spot since 1989 to cut cars up there.
okay,
It's only one parking spot.
all right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there's an event and there's a bunch of people parked all over the parking lot in, you know, a kind of chaotic way. And that's as much of a hazard as anything else.
And I can vouch for that. Many of us chose to leave somebody sit in the car, run in, order it for takeout, because there was no parking whatsoever, and people were parked in places where they're not supposed to be parked, and I don't blame them. We're trying to support an event.
Then I'll bring up to the commissioners, they
How
buy
many
me a
cars you
piece
talking
of
about?
property to do training on.
How many cars?
Yeah.
I would say probably about 15 people chose to take out, because
No, you said that there was cars parked, you know, that they shouldn't have been.
right, we were parking in front of the garage, which you really shouldn't be doing, okay? We were parked more than you should be back here with the playground area. I parked in where the blue lines are, where you're not supposed to park, between handicap and whatever. I mean, it was awful. We couldn't even turn around. There wasn't enough room to turn my car around.
Could we have overflow parking at St. Anne's?
You're not gonna find people wanting to walk down.
Yeah, I'd be worried about that.
I don't know if it went on all night. We were there, like around the 5:30 time frame? Between 5:30 and 6 is when it was really, really bad.
The
I mean,
car,
good for them.
Oh, yeah,
They made a lot of money, I'm
I'm
sure.
glad they make a lot of money.
But it was bad.
the car for the fire department that they use for training, that's very important too.
Oh, I'm just saying.
John and Paul, that's very important, that training.
I get it, but I mean, it's what, it's been 6 months now?
Well, I was
They
waiting
take
for,
a little bit every time, they don't do it all the,
Well, what about we don't have nobody plays ball here anymore. Can't we expand the parking lot?
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's a huge deal. I'm just saying
Oh, no,
I think it
the-
is.
I agree with you, but the reason why we haven't used it yet, I was waiting for a tool to come in to
I get it.
train people on.
I get
That's
it.
why.
I understand there's a reason behind it. I'm just saying it's something I happened to notice that seemed like best case scenario would have been more parking spots available if they could have been.
Yeah, I don't know how we could expand the parking lot, because you would have to double up.
Yeah.
I would be very opposed.
The expense of expanding a parking lot to accommodate 15 more cars for an event like that, I think it'd be easier for the event hosts to start issuing timeframes of when you can come and pick up your meals. So you use 10, you come between 5 and 6. You 10 come between 6 and 7.
Well, then you have to have
but the expense-
reservations.
Yes, reservations
They have to do that.
to expand a parking lot to accommodate 15 cars for a once or twice a year event is not feasible.
I mean, in the summer times, it's easy because you can park on a lawn, but you ain't parking on a lawn now.
Yeah. I mean, when you used to have the town board meeting on the same night as the scout meeting,
Yeah,
we
it
had a
used to
hard
be-
time too. There
yeah.
weren't enough spots.
That's why, when I talk to people, I think that was one of the reasons why they wanted it moved.
But we shouldn't sacrifice the basketball court or anything. I think that'd be a terrible idea.
Oh, no, I would put down here. But
Oh,
anyway, it's
okay.
just something to think about. Hey, if we're lucky and the town grows, you wait and see.
Is that all you have, John Paul?
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll
Second.
second that move. Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
No nays? Passes.
Want something?
Yeah, sure.